Hello and welcome to my world. Today we're going to be heading out to a museum, and it actually finally stopped raining. It's raining all this morning and pretty much all last night, so I can actually whip out my camera here and do a little bit of filming in front of our hotel, the Berksey Residence. And as I said before, me being a Bay Area guy, every time I say Berksey Residence I have a hard time. I got to tell in my mind over and over again, do not say Berkeley Residence. So anyway, kind of sounds the same. But so we're headed off to a museum. My wife is reserving a taxi cab right now, and I'm enjoying the tiny bit of rain-free weather, although it's still kind of pretty gloomy out here today. It's about 10:30. Oh, that poor kid riding on that scooter was crying, not having a good time. Yes, people do use scooters for transporting their kids here. So the rush hour is over. This morning it actually got pretty noisy out here with all the cars, and look at those guys whipping by. All the cars and actually the police officers directing traffic with the whistles, blowing their whistles and stuff. It was pretty noisy out here. Oh my god, a pickup truck! Wow, it's the first one I've seen out here. Look at that, it's got a double cab. Wow. Pickup trucks are very rare. Once you leave the US, or they're common in Canada and Mexico, but once you leave US, Canada, Mexico, places like that, yeah, pickup trucks are pretty rare. You just don't see them here in China or in the Asian countries at all. At least not the ones I've been to. So no Ford F-150s. Yeah, never find those here. So anyway, my wife is reserving a taxi cab. I didn't mention this. The way you reserve taxi cabs in Shanghai is you have to use a special app to reserve taxi cabs. So it's not like the old days where you just stand out here, wave your hand if the taxi cab has a green light on top, and then they'll come and stop. No, that went away pretty much when the city got rid of the Volkswagen Santana taxi cabs and replaced them with all these electric taxi cabs made by BYD and this other company I'm not familiar with called Rowe, R-O-E-W-E, I think is how you spell it, something like that. It's a brand of electric car that they don't sell in the US, but so that's how you reserve your taxi cab now. You have to use the app. If you sit here, standing here, waving your hand at all the taxi cabs, they will never stop. So those days went by, went the way of the dodo bird and went the way of the Volkswagen Santanas. So anyways, we're waiting for the taxi cab. When it comes here, we're gonna head over to the museum and we're gonna take you on another day's adventure. So while we're waiting here for the taxi cab to arrive and pick us up, I was talking about the taxi cab app, and that kind of reminds me of another thing about payments here. Shanghai, within the last maybe 7 years, maybe 8 years, has really gone from to a completely almost cashless society. So the way you pay for things, like in restaurants and stores, some stores will take Visa cards, but they are kind of rare. But the most way people pay for things here is with one of two apps. Either they use Alipay or they use WeChat Pay, one or the other. And just make sure you have those apps installed on your phone, so otherwise you will not be able to buy anything. Now, places will accept cash. It's not as though cash is, they'll turn you down, although some places will, like restaurants and stuff. Some places actually will say, we don't take cash payments now. It didn't used to be that way. Cash used to be king in this city. But some places, like taxi cab drivers, some of them, like if you reserve not like the Uber type of guys, but if you reserve a regular taxi cab, like the green ones or the red ones, those guys will take cash, but they may not have change. So keep that in mind. So cash used to be king here, but if you haven't been to the city in about maybe 7 or 8 years, cash is kind of quickly becoming obsolete. So just something to keep in mind. Have Alipay or WeChat Pay, or preferably both, installed on your phone before you come here, and just always have them ready to go. And when we go to Shanghai Disneyland, for example, they do take Visa, so that's never an issue for paying stuff at Shanghai Disneyland. So here we are, we're riding along the taxi cab, or zipping along on the freeway. In case you ever wondered what a freeway in Shanghai looks like, this is it. And one thing you may notice is that they do not have passing lanes here. If you want to go faster, it's up to you to get around the slow guys. So for example, here we go. This Tesla's blowing by us on the right-hand lane, and this dude in front of us is just camped out here in the left-hand lane. And And so these in California, the left-hand lanes are the passing lanes, slower traffic keep to the right. They have no such rule here. It's free-for-all. So you basically just go wherever there's an opening. As you can see in front of me here, these people trying to get around this gray car in front of us. So it's pretty much a free-for-all. You ever see the movie Rollerball? Yeah, that's kind of what driving on the freeway is like here. One thing you notice here in China is how popular Buicks are. There's one right there. And I remember when GM went through their bankruptcy protection and they had to close down a bunch of their divisions like Hummer and Volvo and stuff like that. Buick survived, and the reason Buick survived, at least what GM said, was because of how popular they were in China. And I see more Buicks here than anywhere else I've ever been to in my life. It's amazing how popular they are. It reminds me of the US, maybe like in 1985 when the Buicks were kind of common. But you do see them here a lot. Like there was one right there. And we've actually ridden in a couple Buick minivans on this trip. So yes, Buick sells minivans here in China. Something you never see back home. Okay, we're here at the museum. Another place we've never been to. So I'm filming out here while I can, while the weather's nice, before it starts raining again. And here is the entrance to the museum. And there's a water fountain right here in front of me. I'll tilt my camera down here so you can see it. That's what the sound is here. So for those of you, I hope the sound of running water isn't triggering an effect. But if you need to run to use the restroom, now's the chance to do it before we head inside. So I'm not sure if they allow filming inside, so I hope they do. If so, I'll whip out the camera and show you what it's like inside the museum. But if not, this may be all you get to see. So we'll find out. So here's the interior of the Shanghai Museum East. We had to show our passports and go through metal detectors and security and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. If you go to a lot of the attractions here, you do have to provide your passport. They did not check my visa though, just the passport, just the ID part. And then they copied down the passport number. But the same is true at Shanghai Disneyland. You do have to provide your passport, which is a little strange. You don't have to do that at any of the other Disney parks. But evidently that's quite common with a lot of the attractions here. Just have your passport ready at all times. So we're gonna go upstairs, my wife said, and we're gonna start at the top level and work our way down. This is the view from the top floor. This place is huge. There's actually 4 floors in this museum, so it is massive. There's no way we're gonna cover this whole thing in just one day. So we're just gonna take it slow and easy, enjoy being out of the rain, and just see what we can. And I don't see any signs here saying you can't take pictures or can't shoot video, so I will be filming a bit here and there. And one thing, I forgot to mention too, is that the admission for this museum is actually free. So you can come here anytime. It's a great way to escape the heat if it's hot and humid. It's nice and cool in here, and like us, we're escaping the rain for a little while. My wife was just saying that they use these to carry food from room to room. They'll take it to the dinner table. Those are pretty neat. Those are some jade cups to drink out of. Alright, this thing actually is a bed. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Cool to look at. I don't know if I'd want to sleep on it, but yeah, I don't think that thing has much give to it. My shoulders are sore enough from last night in that hotel room bed, but yeah, this thing, ooh, I think my whole body would be sore if I slept on this bad boy. Very decorative though, that's for sure. So it is looking, I know when I'm at home and I look at my bed, it makes me kind of sleepy sometimes. When you look at this bed, does it make you sleepy at all, anybody? Yeah, I don't think so. Not too comfortable, but it looks great in the museum here. By the way, this section of the museum is devoted to Jingnan. So that's where all these artifacts come from. And yes, everybody's freaking out. Yes, I told you my pronunciation is terrible. I admit it. So here we are, we're eating lunch at, believe it or not, a Pizza Hut. And my wife's gonna scan the menu with her phone. You scan the QR code here at the table. This is how you typically order at a lot of the restaurants here in Shanghai now. And there we go, and the menu pops up on the phone. So you still can get a regular paper menu if you ask for it, but anyway, oh, there it goes. Okay, it showed up, so there we go. There you go. It just shows up on the phone like that, and you just place your order there. So that's how you order now in Shanghai. So this is what Pizza Hut looks like. Actually, you see inside the kitchen there. Pizza Huts in Shanghai are very different than back home, and the menus are very different too. So I remember I ate in a Pizza Hut a few years ago here, and they had seafood pizza. I remember it was really good. Had fish and shrimp and stuff like that. And I think it might have octopus too on my pizza. It was pretty good. So this is the dining room area. Okay, they just brought us our water, and one thing about, I didn't mention this so far, I probably should have earlier, is that one thing when you are served water, or if you order water in a restaurant and you ask for it, in Shanghai, Shanghainese people prefer their water hot, like really hot. And they do not drink cold water here. Now you can buy bottled water in the plastic bottle, and they actually, which is kind of weird, for some reason they sell plastic bottled water cold. But if you ask for just a cup of water in any restaurant, most of the restaurants in the city, in my experience, none of them have cold water. So that's kind of strange and weird. All the water's hot. And so if you're like me and you, generally speaking, I don't like hot drinks. I like my drinks cold. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed when I come here to Shanghai. And it's very different. If you go from here to Japan, in Japan it's the opposite. They're like Americans. We like cold drinks evidently. And Japan's the same way. They prefer their water cold. But in Shanghai, it's always hot water. And I am not a fan of hot water. Just never have been, or hot drinks in general. My personal preference, I prefer all my drinks to be cold. So one of the things I always do when I leave Shanghai is, if I go back home to California, or if when we go on to Japan, one thing I do right away is get a cold glass of water. And it's just part of the thing here. And I think it started out because people in Shanghai do not drink the tap water. So ever since they're born, they boil their water to remove some of the impurities out of it. And of course, if you're into outdoors activities like hiking and camping and stuff, you know that boiling water does not remove all the impurities in the water, but they do the best they can. And as a result of that, they always prefer their water be hot. So just a little tip, if you're like me, like cold drinks, yeah, in Shanghai, you're gonna miss them. Here's the outside of the Pizza Hut, where my wife and my son just ordered, so they're waiting inside. I just want to come out here and show that there's actually a little shopping mall outside the museum. The museum is here on my far right, and it's kind of drizzly right now. So it's not quite raining, but just drizzly. So there's the museum right there. That's the exit we came out of to go get some lunch. And this is right outside the museum. And I'm gonna put the camera away so I can film some more of the shopping area over there. So here we go, I'm gonna go through the drizzle. So here's a little bit more of the shopping area. There's some restaurants in here. You can actually go downstairs there. And I'm under the awning right here in the outdoor patio at Pizza Hut. So trying to keep my lens from getting wet. I'm getting tired of wiping off water drops off the lens, camera lens. So I'm gonna go inside and get something to eat. I'm getting pretty hungry. So here's our first pizza, first of 2 pizzas that we ordered. And this is Canadian bacon on here. And one thing I forgot to mention too is that napkins are not standard issue here in Shanghai. Many of the restaurants do not have napkins. You have to provide your own. So a lot of people have these little tiny pocket-size tissue boxes that they carry around, or tissue packages that they walk around. Oh, my son got some noodles, some pasta there. So something you can't, I don't think you can get this at Pizza Hut back home. I'm not too familiar with pizza, but all they have back home is just mainly pizza. So maybe pasta. But anyways, I was saying, this Pizza Hut does have napkins, so no problem. But for example, the dim sum restaurant we ate at yesterday, that we had lunch at, they did not have napkins. So my wife had to use the tissues, the little tiny package of tissues that she had in her purse. So just keep that in mind. Something you don't think about, because in the US we have no problems with getting napkins at restaurants. But here in Shanghai, it's not rare for them to have, but it's not unexpected to go into a nice restaurant and they don't have napkins. So just something to keep in mind. And here's our second pizza. It was just dropped off and it has beef on it. The green vegetables, by the way, on the Canadian bacon pizza is arugula. That's what it is on there. So anyways, here's our 2 pizzas. Very different compared to the pizzas you can get at Pizza Hut back home. Very thin crust. So here's something you can't get at Pizza Huts back home. Dessert. Have some cake for dessert. Okay, we just finished our lunch at Pizza Hut and we're back inside the museum. By the way, to get an idea how big this place is, look at the size of those people up there. Look how big this place is. It's huge. But okay, now we're headed over into this, the ancient Chinese bronze gallery. So here we go. Let's go inside. Check it out. Wow, look at how big this one is. I wonder how heavy that thing is. Wow. Believe it or not, this thing is considered a food vessel. Just like the other one, but it's just bigger. Can you imagine how much food you can put in this thing? Wow. They sure ate a lot back in the old days. This is a musical instrument. Pretty cool looking. I think you hit them with sticks. I've seen somewhere some people playing these. I don't remember where it was. These are probably the one percussion instrument that I bet Neil Peart does not know how to play. Who knows? If Neil Peart were still alive, he may have a set of these behind his big, huge drum kit on stage. That'd be pretty cool. Of course, I've seen AC/DC play countless times when they bring out the big, huge Hell's Bell, and Brian Johnson smacks it with the big mallet. Just imagine if they had this thing on stage. That'd be kind of cool too. Okay, see this? This, believe it or not, is a drum stand, at least according to the little placard here, it says. Now, I've seen countless bands through the years. I've never seen a drum stand that looks like this, so pretty cool. Okay, see this? It's an ox-shaped wine vessel, so you put wine in there. Those holes in the top. And the funny thing is, I can't find any hole to pour the wine out of. But if you look closely, I only see one hole to get the wine out of. Can you guess where the wine comes out? I don't know. That's my guess right there. There are some more food vessels. These are smaller than that big boy we saw earlier, so I guess maybe the size of the vessel depends on the size of your appetite. So give me that big one. That's the one I want. Okay, here, check out this wine vessel. It's a dragon-shaped one, and unlike the other one, this one, it's easy to tell where the wine comes out of, unlike that other one. So right there in the dragon's mouth is where it comes out from. Check this out. This is for water. It's a water vessel. I'm not sure what those are on the side. The card didn't say. The placard didn't say what those animals are on the side. Maybe cats? I'm not sure, but it's pretty neat. Check out these things. Believe it or not, these giant things are drums made out of bronze. It's amazing. See any Tama logos on them? Or any Ludwig logos on them? Or Pearl? No, I don't. But these are pretty cool. So I know Neil Peart is famous for his giant drum fills where he goes up and down all the toms on the rack. Can you imagine Neil Peart doing this? He'd be running along, hitting all these drums, doing the fill. Songs like Limelight and YYZ. That would be neat. I would pay to see Neil Peart play these things. Okay, can anybody out there guess what this thing is? Believe it or not, according to the placard, this thing is a pillow made of bronze. Now swing around, it's got 2 yaks on it, so let me go around the front side here. So you can see the yaks on there. Doesn't that look comfortable? Alright, let's go for a nice nap on that thing. Oh, my head hurts just thinking about it. So this is the Jade Gallery. So we're gonna go inside here, go check out some Chinese jade. This is a jade fisherman. Look at that happy little guy. These exhibits are huge. I can't believe how big they are, but inside all of these cases are all jade pieces. And it keeps going. There's another room right there straight ahead too. These are actually daggers made out of jade. Interesting. I did not know they actually made cutting blades out of jade. This is an axe blade made out of jade. Imagine that? I've used many axes cutting down trees when I do yard work, but I've never had one made of jade before. Really neat. And here is a piece of raw jade, what it looks like when they pull it out of the ground before they cut it, polish it, make it look all beautiful. Here's a big giant boulder of jade. I thought this was kind of funny. This is the sign, the little jade guy right here next to the boulder. You can feel the boulder, but no pushing. Remember, no pushing the jade boulders. I'll have to remember that for the rest of my life. If I ever see another jade boulder, I will feel it, but I will not push it, because I will do exactly what little jade man says here. Okay, here's my son. Okay, he's feeling the boulder. Are you pushing? Do what jade man says. No pushing, no pushing. See, there my son. See, he's learned from jade man. No pushing. Here's some huge windows that overlook the front of the museum. See right here. That's down there is where the taxi cab dropped us off. Okay, this is the last gallery we are going to see. This is based on Chinese ceramics. We just don't have time to see and do any more than this. This place is huge. Unlike the Jade Gallery, this one is very well lit. This is cool. This is a watchtower. It's kind of funny. Look at these guys. They're doing their job on the watchtower. I guess watching for enemies, maybe? I'm not sure. But then if you look down, everybody was doing their job. Wait a minute. What's that guy doing? That guy looks to me like he's sunbathing on the job. Look at that. He's goofing off. Look at his buddy right there. See, he's doing his job. He's looking forward. He's looking for the enemy. But look at that guy. That guy's goofing off there. He's sunbathing. Oh well, who knows? In the old days, I guess people, they had goof-offs back then too. There are jars with applied decorations. Look at that. Pretty elaborate. Wow, look at these ceramic figurines. Pretty amazing. Yeah, look at these guys. I'm gonna just go on by here. Ooh, Gesundheit. This guy's known as the Heavenly King, but you know why he's the king? He's stepping on that poor guy. I don't want to be that dude down there. Oh man. Feel sorry for that guy. I guess that's how you get to be king in the old days. Here's another Heavenly King, and he's doing the same thing. Look at that. Oh man, look at that poor guy down there. He's like, yeah, get off of me. Feel sorry for that little guy. Can anybody guess what these two things are? I thought they were jewelry boxes at first, but no, according to the placard, believe it or not, these things are pillows. Don't those look comfortable? You put this under your head and yeah, I guess you might fall asleep or you might get knocked unconscious. I don't know. If that's the same as sleeping? Maybe it is. I don't know. This is just one room in the ceramics exhibit. Just to give you an idea how huge this place is. It's crazy how much there is to see here. Yep, believe it or not, this is another pillow. Doesn't that look comfortable? Nice and rock hard. Just what you need for a good night's sleep, right? Look at this. There's a whole row of these things. Believe it or not, these things are all considered pillows. That one's kind of cool, shaped like a tiger, but look at these things. The scary thing is, these pillows are probably softer than the mattress I slept on last night at the Berksea Residence Hotel. Because those mattresses last night, my shoulders were so sore this morning. They were killing me. But I don't know. I don't know what it is with these people. They just love rock hard pillows. I mean, can't you find some straw to sleep on or some leaves or something with a little give to it? Some dirt even? But nope. Let's use ceramic. Yeah, nice and hard. Wow, look at this thing. This thing is a jar. Look at that. It doesn't list the weight on the placard, but man, this thing is gigantic. Wow, look at that thing. That, as Jerry Seinfeld said, that's your big boy right there. It's not a Drake's coffee cake, but it's the big boy of jars. According to the placard, this guy's name is Lee the Immortal. And boy, he doesn't look too happy. Here's a cool jar with paintings, or on the side of it here, it's kids playing. It's children. Okay, they're all having a good time playing games and stuff like that. And as my son pointed out, as always in the groups of kids, I don't know if this is a kid or not, but my son said there's some guy in here, some pyromaniac, playing with firecrackers. Like always, it never fails. There's always one deviant person in the crowd. Well, look, everybody's having fun. These dudes are playing. Guy playing a drum right here. There's always that one pyromaniac gonna mess it up for everybody and light the trees on fire. And just like an attraction at Walt Disney World, the museum dumps out into the gift shop. So we're gonna check out the gift shop and see what kind of goodies they have for sale. These are cool. These are actually wooden models. Pretty neat. You actually buy the small ones. I don't think the big one's available for sale. It doesn't look like it. But you can buy these little small model kits. Put them together. Really neat. One thing I love are miniature models. I just love these sorts of things, especially the mechanical ones. Really cool. Let me squeeze by here. I love any kind of like mechanical toy or just any kind of little mechanisms. I just love. It's one of the reasons I love mechanical watches and automatic watches so much. So I just realized that these music boxes they have here on display, you actually put them together. They come like this, in a box like this, and it looks like you put it together somehow. I'm not sure if it requires glue or anything. Not quite sure, but they got a whole bunch of them here. Really neat. Don't have these back home as far as I know. I've never seen such a thing. Okay, this one's for my cousin. You know who you are. I know you love pandas, so check out this cool music box with pandas on it. Okay, we're back here at my mother-in-law's place and we're gonna get some quick dinner here at KFC. Take it up to her place and eat it over there. And maybe close out the night with a game of pool and a game of ping pong with my son in the gaming area of her retirement community. So I'm gonna sign off here. So I hope you enjoyed this adventure and I'll catch you in the next video. I know I signed off in the last segment there, but actually I had to come in here in this KFC and show there is absolutely no cash register here. There's nobody here to take your order or anything like that. You have to use the app. You have to use the app here and you have to order. So there's absolutely nothing like back home. By the way, what is KFC's official slogan? Here is a Maybach, Mercedes Maybach coming right here. Wow, don't see those very often. And here's a Yamasaki in white. I like this one. Really cool looking. It's a white and black one. Ooh, it's got aluminum wheels too. That is cool. Okay, now I'm gonna close out. So I hope you enjoyed today's adventure and I'll catch you in the next video.